Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Ab Daily News with your hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 247. What you have in the menu, coach, today. First of all, I want to talk about front player for the Ab prospect, possible to be potential to be traded very soon. We're going to talk again about Lane Hudson. Another Ab prospect, what happening to him yesterday. And finally, I want to talk about another player's trade bait. Yesterday, we talked about that enough. Today, we're going to talk about Joel Edmondson. But before we start, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show, and leave me comments about this episode. And let's dive in, talk about my first subject of the day. My first subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens prospect, the potential trade. What you talking about, coach? But I really believe right now the trade deadline is coming. We know it's on March 3rd. At some point, Montreal Canadiens, they're going to have too much asset player on the prospect inside of this organization, and possible they could trade some of them at some point during the deadline or during the offseason. I'm talking about three specific players. Matthias Nylander, left defenseman, play with the Laval Rocket. Kapanen, Oliver Kapanen, play right now in Liga. And then Jesse Allen play with the Laval Rocket. Why them? First of all, let's talking about Matthias Nylander. Draft 64 overall pick, third round in 2019. He played only 6 games in NHL with the Montreal Canadiens. And the left defenseman side is really crowded with many front players inside of Montreal Canadiens. Secondly, obviously for him, remember the last 2 years he was fight with a lot of injuries, with concussion, left shoulder, and he tried to go through those injuries, but still to make the Montreal Canadiens roster is very difficult. In the last 1 month, you see the development of Coley, Jordan Harris, and Jacky. All three are in front of him, and then behind him is coming very soon Lane Hudson. Plus, you have to add possibly Adam Engstrom and Jaden Struble. And we don't count here Nicolas Baudin and Fairbrother, plus William Trudeau. So just give you an idea, it's a lot of left defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens, and that feel like at some point Nylander in the next couple of months is going to be traded from the Montreal Canadiens, unfortunately. My second player I want to talk about is Oliver Kapanen. Draft in 2021, second round, 64 overall pick. So, coach, why one is a third, one is a second? Is because we had that year Seattle Kraken, and now the end of the second round at 64 become a third round in that year. And 2021. He played right now with Liga. He played last World Junior Championship with a team Finland. He was the center number 1. Did not do well overall. He did not carry on that team, honestly. The center position of Montreal Canadiens started to be crowded. What you talk about? But first of all, let's talking about Suzuki, Kirby Dach, Owen Beck, Jake Evans, Christian Dvorak, Jan Mizak. You can count there Riley Kidney. You can count there Joshua Roy if you have to. And that's get right now Kapanen behind. Yes, he have a better season this year. I think he has already have 9 goals. But again, I think at some point he could be an asset for the Montreal Canadiens to get traded during the offseason. Finally, my last player I want to talk about today is Jesse Allen. 2018 draft for the Montreal Canadiens, 35 overall pick. Second round. He's a player since he's turned 18 years old and to become a professional hockey player. He's a bubble player. He's good in the American Hockey League, but not good enough to stay in the National Hockey League. That's what the biggest problem for him. And he turned 23 years old, and next year, he's not exempt anymore of the waiver. So if Montreal call him up next season, he have to go through the waiver. It's possible that Montreal can lose him. So will not be surprised. He played for the rest of the season with the Montreal Canadiens. He can call up again for the Laval Rocket when the Montreal can figure out the trade deadline. And then from that, he's going to be a little bit on the evaluation about him, see what he does with the Montreal Canadiens for the rest of the season. And then after that, possibly Montreal make a trade for him. I think they are the 3 players Montreal Canadiens right now are looking as a potential trade Ab prospect for the Abs. Before we move on, I would like to hear from you. Leave me comments about my three players. Maybe you have other players you feel like the Montreal could put on the potential trade in the next couple of weeks or the month and during the off season. Let's move on now, guys, for my second subject of the day. My second subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens Abs trade bait. Yesterday we talked about Evgeny Dadonov with the Calgary Flame. Today I want to talk about a specific player, is the defenseman Joel Edmondson. We know right now he's on the ER. Possibly he returned. We don't know the last update. We see this week what the Montreal going to bring those kind of update for different injuries with the Montreal Canadiens. But if he's healthy, he's ready to play, he could be a good candidate for the Montreal Canadiens to get traded. Many teams and NHL team are right now looking to be in the playoff, are looking for left defensemen. They have a few players, defensemen right now are possible to be traded. I'm talking about Jacob Chikron, one of them. I can talk about Kavrikov from the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Joel Edmondson become maybe a good players to get traded. Other teams are looking to get him. His experience in NHL, his reputation he brings during the playoff with the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes and the St. Louis Blues when he won the Stanley Cup. He's a big defenseman, 6'4", over 200 pounds. We know it's on the playoff. We need those kind of players to go deep in the playoff. But I want to talk about Pittsburgh today. What Pittsburgh? Come on, coach, Pittsburgh. Why not the Edmonton? Possible Edmonton. Possible Toronto. Possible Boston. But today I want to talk about Pittsburgh because I feel they have something they need. And I think Montreal can make a deal with them. If Joel Edmondson is healthy, first of all. Why? Because look on the left defenseman, Peterson, Dumoulin, Joseph. They are right now on the injury reserve, Ruta. But Ruta is the right defenseman. They are not big on the experience on the left defenseman, the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are not strong enough. And I think for the Ron Extall said a couple of days ago, are looking right now to add some element in their team for the rest of the season, a forward and a defenseman. I think Joel Edmondson could be something good for them. Then you have Dumoulin. He become a UFA at the end of the year. Dumoulin carry on a contract at 4.1 and Joel Edmondson at one more year of $3.5 million. So if Dumoulin, they let him go because they need money, they still have enough money right now to pay Joel Edmondson for the following year. At some point, I think Pittsburgh is winning to get Joel Edmondson if he's healthy. This is a big question we have to know from the Montreal Canadiens during the next couple of days. Now, what could be Montreal get in return? If we go only Joel Edmondson straight with the kind of health problem, I think Montreal can get a minimum, a second-round pick, and they can request a third-round pick. Now, we're not a first-round pick, coach, but he could have the trade, something like if Edmondson play 5 games, 10 games, 15 games, 20 games during the playoff, or the team move on for second round or the third round in the playoff, now Montreal can increasing their asset from that trade. Now, from the second round pick and the third round pick, they delete this and they get a first round pick. Those kind of negotiation is possible. Now, we know they have some kind of difficulties with Kapanen. Kapanen carry on a contract at $3.2 million for this year and next season. And they want to add another forward inside their team and they need a little bit more money. Like Tarasenko, example, Ryan O'Reilly. I can just go this way. Possibly they can trade Kapanen to the Montreal Canadiens, and because of that contract, now they can give a first-round pick in return for Joel Edmondson with Kapanen. Or they can give Kapanen and the bad contract for a 2 second-round pick, 23 and 24 for the Montreal Canadiens. So they have those kind of negotiations you can see they can do and talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. So it will be very interesting if Joel Edmondson, first of all, is healthy. If he is healthy, which team could run after him? I still believe that Pittsburgh is a great candidate to get Joel Edmondson for the trade deadline. I would like to hear from you what you think about this subject. Do you think Pittsburgh is a great target for Joel Edmondson? Do you think Joel Edmondson could be traded or not? Do you think he's out or not? We're going to see this, what's happening. Let's move on now, guys, for my last subject of the day. My last subject of the day, guys, is a quick one. Is the Ab news update. Today I want to talk about the Lane Hudson Player of the Month and NCAA division. This is the second time, is the third awards he got in the beginning of the season. Yesterday he played and the team lost by the score at 3-1, but he have a one pass and that gave him now 9 goals, 27 assists at 36 points and 26 game. At 18 years old guy, unbelievable what Hudson. At some point, everybody talk about him. Everybody talk about Lane Hudson. The season he has right now with the Boston University is right now on the point per game at 1.4, one of the top best players, defensemen, and NCAA. The next couple of days, I'm going to talk about different NHL draft 2023 for Montreal could draft. We have a couple of players like Oliver Moore, the defenseman David Ren Batcher. Someone you have to remember, guys, is going to getting better and better. Some compare him to Nemec and Cherechek. So I'm going to make a specific video about him because Montreal, if they pick number 5 or number 6 or number 7, it could be on the leaderboard for the Montreal pick him up. Please leave me a comments what you think about Lane Hudson so far since the beginning of the season and the NCAA. Here we go, guys. Another quick episode of the Ab Daily News 247. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Today we talk about Jordan Munson trade bait, Lane Hudson Ab prospect, and the potential different 3 players could be traded from the Montreal Canadiens, Kapanen, Norlander, and Ilonen. Until my next video, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey National Show, and leave me a comments about this episode. And remember, you have greatness inside of you, and I wish you an amazing, blessing day, everybody.